This is Past the Rock.
Whoa! Baseball? Son of a gun. Baseball on a little island in the Far East?
Incredible! The sport of gentlemen comes to the country of savages.
Lucille! Watch out for Lucille!
I don't care about Lucille! Stay alive!
And then a seal bites off his hand.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me?
So I'm curious what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
Venice Parade. Venice Parade.
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay.
This is Past the Rock.
We are back for the second quarter, where we're going to try to tackle baseball and basketball as best as we can in the time allotted.
We can combine it together and make a movie called Basketball.
We could, and it'd be so damn funny.
It's time to remake it.
Oh God, don't put it past them. They got fresh new contracts.
You think that contract is for nothing?
Anyways, yeah. So things up until the last 2 days, things were really looking. The Rangers were just the hottest ticket. Things were looking great. We were back to half game, back of the wild card. We had won something like 11 of 13 or 11 of 14 games. Unfortunately, lost the last two. This is how baseball go. But overall, we're in a better spot than we were a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and all that. So there's some fun stuff.
Josh Young being better is good, right?
He's not
385, 2 home runs, 10 hits, 5 RBI. That's solid.
He's not just hacking at literally everything anymore. And, I get it. That's how I am on the show half the time. I'm terrible at it. But it is nice.
Whatever it takes, man.
It is nice that he got a little shake up and seems to at least feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, long term, him being just completely useless would be very negative, more than just this season.
It would be disappointing for sure. We're in a weird spot that I'm not normally in with my teams, where we got that World Series win, and I know that you want more, you keep going for more, but it is a weird spot to be like, well, at least we got that.
Yeah, no at this point, you just want to see the program continue to move forward too.
Yep.
Yeah, but you also don't want them to rest on the laurels of that.
No, for
after
sure.
After a while, time will. It'll be, we're like, oh man, it'd be nice if they were in a position to win one. It's been a few years.
Yeah, this is a prime window right now, right? Effing now.
Right.
So
Even
we got
Jock Peterson back.
We got Jock Peterson back, which doesn't seem like it's too much different yet. Who knows? That's a lot of money, and they're going to give him a couple more chances before they probably pull the plug on him for the year. But he'll get a few more games.
So, deadline's tomorrow. We'll get into that later. But what is the next? They would have. So if they don't make a trade and keep all the prospects, do you think there's a chance that they kick him off the roster for Asuna to be on the roster?
The chance, absolutely. I mean, it is a weird spot because you are paying him quite a lot of money, and
but
you don't
only
just
for this
stop.
year, right?
Well, I just mean yeah, but you don't just stop.
Would they have to wait for that deal to expire to not be on the hook because it's a player option or a team?
I don't know his full whatever.
I think they basically decided to give him 2 team options, basically a 3-year contract with 2 team options, so a fake 1-year deal, basically.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, they're worried about this year money right now still. So
well, at this point,
there's nothing they can do with it.
It's already pissed away.
But like I said, they'll give him a chance. Usually you start bringing in, you expand the roster, I think early September. So they probably don't need to make a drastic change, just stop playing him if things don't turn around. We had a bad game from DeGrom. That's going to happen sometimes. Once every 30 games, you'll take. And a bad game for him was like 4 runs. It wasn't crazy.
I didn't watch last night, but it seemed like there was just a bad game all around.
They weren't playing well. I don't know if it's the trip out because they're in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
Or Anaheim.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I
South
was
LA.
growing up, I used to think Angel Grove and Anaheim were supposed to be the same place. Angel Grove of Power Rangers. I don't know why I make that connection, but it still happens in my brain.
It's probably shot in they would have shot a lot of the scenes in Japan. I think.
I mean,
and then
yeah,
the American scenes would have been somewhere probably
a
like
studio in
Colombia,
LA. I would
probably
assume.
like Vancouver.
You don't think it was LA?
A lot of places used to shoot in Vancouver in the 90s, for sure.
It's very true.
But anyways, we got a big. You need to take one from the Angels tonight, and then they got a big series against Seattle, which should kind of let us know where we're sitting. They did announce they're giving Josh Hamilton a jacket for being in the Rangers Hall of Fame, which he was inducted in 6 years ago. It's a weird bit,
but then he got in more trouble after that point, right?
So that's the year that he was. Yeah, that's the year he was arrested for. I think the story that we were given is that he threw a water bottle at his daughter really hard, and so then he basically got probation and don't fuck up or you're going to jail.
Just not a hyper intelligent being here.
He doesn't seem like the most rational, level-headed man. So it's a tough one, you know. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not too worried about it, but
I don't think it changes a lot other than reiterates the ownership's opinions on morals and ethics.
At least they pulled John Wetland out of the Rangers Hall of Fame. They didn't make a big deal out of it, but his number's not still hanging up anywhere.
Just put this out of the way. I mean, yeah, it's annoying. Only lame thing I can say is, you still can't just do one night with rainbows everywhere. You know what I mean? Just one night.
Yeah.
That's my only retort. It's just one night, dude. One night.
There's
80 fucking.
There's a litany of things that I don't love about the organization, and that's definitely going to be part of it. But as far as the current team and the playing on the field, what do we got? Like 47, 48 games left or something like that. Does that sound right?
Nut crunching time.
Math 108. Nope, still like 54 games.
And only 5.5 games back.
That'd be of Houston, right, for the division?
Yep. So you can still do it. You know, 5.5 isn't the worst.
So sweep all those, and then
they made it seem like the Houston thing was attainable this last week, but I still think realistically,
they were in a bad clip while we were at a really good clip. Now they've won a couple of games, we've lost a couple of games. It's coming back, but it is still possible.
I just believe in what their consistency has been over our offensive consistency.
Sure, maybe. Although they are severely lacking because of injuries. So
it can change, and I think this Rangers team can instantly turn it on offensively, but then is it too little too late no matter what?
No, I'm saying Houston's running nearly a minor league plus team out there right now. Okay. Well, so I don't know how long they can sustain that, which opens the door for us or Seattle pretty much.
They've done a good job of keeping their baseline pretty
I'm not
competitive
saying
no matter what talent
they're a fine team. There's no team in this division that's incredible. I think us at the top
should be this one, and I'm not even saying that as a bias. I just think it's.
I mean,
think
the DeGrom and
Uvalde a disappointment.
DeGrom and Uvalde of it make it to where they could be the best team quickly, but
that's what I'm saying is highlighting really the offensive woes and maybe even the defensive woes that maybe haven't been talked about enough.
Are we not to derail to talk about the offensive and defensive woes? I just wanted to know. Have we heard anything about, because we are quickly approaching the trade deadline, what the Rangers are going to do? Because it feels like now, instead of selling,
probably.
Because
it feels like now there's no need to sell. It's like, hey, let's buy while the iron's still hot.
There's been some big names taken off the block. We talked about Jan Duran from the Twins. They're sending him to Philadelphia. One possible guy that was being rumored over the last couple of days that Texas at least should have been interested in. We don't know if there were any talks. Ryan Helsley, he's going from the Mets, from St. Louis for the closing role, which is something we needed.
I think that one did get because I actually have him and the Pittsburgh closer. I saw a rumor of Texas being involved with, but apparently, obviously, they didn't land one.
And the Mariners grabbed Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates. So that's. I don't know.
I think it's the Rockies. From what I think Evan Grant or somebody else teased a couple days ago, and I think that might be the most logical one, is they might just go try to steal someone on the cheap from the Rockies.
And that's the thing, is if they're going to take someone on, they've pretty much got to either have control a bunch of years or you get it all off the books this year immediately. They got 24 hours to figure something out. I don't think they're just going to do nothing, but I also, see why I just might not make a deal if there's not one to be made, and I think that's okay sometimes.
If you could create a player, a bat, to get more consistency with this lineup, what would it be for you?
Barry Bonds.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be a boom guy. It could be someone who just gets on base a lot. It could be like another Josh Smith.
Josh Smith, that'd be nice if they could just space those two out and time it out just right. And I think Steven Kwan is still being talked about from the Guardians as a name that should be traded. That's one we could maybe do. I don't know what his contract situation is, though, so that could also stop us. What was that?
What's his position?
Left field, but...
Okay, well, we've got some decisions to make out there anyway.
DH is also an option, or, I don't care. Put him at first base.
We got a rotation of DH at this point, so for now, I think that's fine. Long term, I don't know.
But a bat would be a good idea. A closer would be a good idea, and I don't know that they're going to be able to afford both or either.
I'm kind of cool with just trying to ride out the Robert Garcia train. I'm not going to lie.
Man,
I'm kind of cool with this.
It's not great.
I don't know. I mean, is there a guy that really changes the tune? Apparently, Pittsburgh and St. Louis's guys were either too expensive or not to their liking, right?
Or the price might be too much. I don't know enough about the farm systems of these other teams to know what they're actually giving up.
It doesn't feel likely the Rangers would give up a lot of their top end prospects.
No, and it's
they're sort of sees the writing on the wall with the old guys.
Non-politically and politically, they are a conservatively run organization, so they don't.
Man. Okay, I'm looking at the Steven Kwan's numbers throughout the course of his career. I mean, the guy hits for average.
There's a reason he's being talked about because Cleveland's going nowhere, and
he's getting a lot of hits.
He's a good at bat.
He's a small guy, though.
Well, yeah, I think selfishly, I would like to just ride out the Robert Garcia train and get us another bat. But I think it's the other way around.
Luke Jackson's gone, and I'm fine watching the rest of the year now. It's that was a task.
If we ever have a bad night, we'll just play for pegs like they did last night.
Oh man. Well, that's probably all I got this week on the Rangers. We'll know a lot more next week in terms of if we think there's going to be a postseason run or not. And where we could, we're only one back of Seattle, and we're about to play 3 with them. So
margin of error is still pretty shitty, but it's better than it was for a while.
Yeah, I mean, our playoff chances have gone up, I think, by like 35-40% over the last couple weeks, which is hilarious. But we'll get into some more league-wide baseball type stuff. So let me be smart. Branding, pull down the Rangers logo. Because I can't have that up while we talk about...
CC Sabathia definitely played for the Rangers a lot in my video game.
Yeah, in the show 19 or 18. God, happier in that. I don't remember when he actually retired, but...
That was before that,
yeah, so we did have the Hall of Fame this week. Like you said, CC Sabathia went in. They put Billy Wagner in, who I believe is past, correct?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember he played for Houston. Back when they had the...
Am I just a complete asshole here? Yeah, complete asshole here. Seems to be very much still alive.
Oh. That's good for him.
I don't know why I thought otherwise. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. So I saw a story about some team that his son plays for is letting him leave to go do that, to have watched it last week, and in my head, for some reason, I mixed up what the story was about. Former Astro great Billy Wagner, very much alive, now in the Hall of Fame. But I think the most important one to the game as a whole, and one of my favorite non-Rangers ever, Ichiro Suzuki, got himself in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. He has like a sort of similar to Luka thing where he came over and he was a rookie, but he wasn't your traditional rookie. Now, he had way more actual experience against quality opponents than Luka did playing where Luka did at his age. 'cause Ichiro is much older. He's probably mid-20s, early 20s at that point.
Right.
But just came in and it was immediately obvious that he was going to be a Hall of Famer. I feel like he could hit the ball everywhere.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he was considered a Hall of Famer in Japan before coming.
I don't know enough about because I don't know. I guess in theory, his numbers would have been just slightly better over there than they were here. He didn't do it much, but there were definitely talks of if he wanted to, he could do a home run derby and beat everybody. But that's not what his team needed, so he just slapped the ball around instead.
He was famously supposed to be like the thing that took the Mariners to truly over the top, right before they exploded.
I mean, yeah. So he came in 2001, right, when they won the 100 whatever games. Let me see if I got that right.
I think that would have been it. His like rookie year or second year would have been that big year, and then it's just fucking kablooey as a franchise.
Yeah, because
Seattle
went Ichiro, right?
Seattle went. No, A-Rod would be gone at that point, which is hilarious because he's playing in Texas now.
Right, at that point, we've already overpaid for him to eventually win a championship.
Is it an overpay? Look at the numbers. I don't think it was an overpay.
Did we pay for him to win a championship with the New York Yankees?
They paid a lot of that too. We paid him to hit 50-plus home runs multiple times and win an MVP, and he did that. So, so Ichiro's rookie year. Here, I don't think so. I thought he only won one. But anyways, Ichiro's rookie year, 116 wins for the Mariners. Just an insane win total. And then, obviously, they didn't make it through the playoffs. That would be the year the Diamondbacks won with Randy Johnson. Again, former... Like at that point, immediately former Mariner. Yeah. They lost Johnson. They lost A-Rod. I can't remember if they lost Griffey that year or the next year.
I think it would be the next year.
But they maintained being really good, and Ichiro was a huge part of that. I did bring a couple clips here from his Hall of Fame speech. Let's start with this one, where he talks about the Miami Marlins or the Florida Marlins or whatever they were called when he played there in 2015.
And to the Miami Marlins, I appreciate David Sampson and Mike Hill for coming today. Honestly, when you guys called to offer me a contract for 2015, I have never heard of your team.
That's sports humor, and it's good sports humor in my opinion. Marlins were created in 94, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And even though they won in 97, they won in 97 and 03, but
they were two different leagues, right?
No, they've always been National League.
Yeah, American League, National League.
The Marlins, they've always been National League.
Right, and the Mariners are American League.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah. Sorry. I see what you're saying now. He would have had to have played them at some point. But anyways, it's still funny.
But very little is what I mean.
And I like that's the first time I've ever heard David Sampson referenced outside of Pablo Torre. So that was a nice little small thing for me. And then this one I think might be a little bit funnier, where he takes a dig at somebody.
Taught me what it means to be a professional, and I believe that is the main reason I am here today. Not because my skills are better than others. 3,000 hits or 262 hits in one season are achievements recognized by the writers. Well, all but one of you. And by the way, the offer for that writer to have dinner at my home has now expired.
And that, of course, is Ichiro making fun of the fact that the baseball writers will never put anyone in unanimously because they're idiots.
No, I'm glad he did that, because not only that, I mean, that one is egregious. That's probably the most egregious thing they do. But I still think the steroid thing is just snooty and annoying and wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when they have to start talking about the Astros.
Even the Astros, bro, what is it going to be different than all the other, like, you know what I mean? Yes, everyone's going to remember it, but
I mean, you just have to treat it. You have to treat it like however they treat the 1919 World Series and the Hall of Fame. Like, you just have something that tells the story, and then that's it.
Yeah, and that one you would want to negatively spin it, but I thought Daryl Morey just caught fire recently, and I thought he said something really good. And I know this is crazy, but he said something interesting about the Lakers bubble title, right? He was like, if the Rockets would have won, I would celebrate it like a title. He's like, that is a real championship to me. But there's this common conversation that puts an asterisk on it, more or less saying, hey, I'm not agreeing with the asterisk, but you have to acknowledge that the vast majority of people are going to always sort of put this together. There's so many of those in sports. This one having
and it mostly that mostly happens in the NBA talk, because most other sports don't really do that.
Right, but it's bled into a lot of things in our culture now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's fair. But anyways, Ichiro was awesome. He made the Hall of Fame. We also had another Hall of Fame induction, sort of the Mascot Hall of Fame, which we'll watch here, and I'll try to narrate to the audience. So here we see Lou Seal, the seal for the San Francisco Giants, doing your traditional around the world hip thing. He's got a tux shirt on, a backwards black hat, and glasses, orange glasses. He's being inducted in the Mascot Hall of Fame, so he's going to talk to some other...
What the fuck is that orange?
Don't worry, I'll get there. First, this is going to be Mr. Met. Everyone knows Mr. Met. Then we got S.J. Sharkey from the San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
Then we have the Crab, who gets shoved out of the way. Then the Philly Frenetic, and then for some reason, Boomer, the Pacers mascot.
I don't know.
And then he daps up 2 employees, I don't know, and then his parents are there.
Let's see.
The parents of Lou Seal, and I got a little picture of them for you. Where is that? Here. Dad's obviously a deadhead. Mom's probably in that same cult.
Oh my god.
The crab, I forget what its name, Crazy Crab maybe. It was a mascot the Giants tried in the 80s and failed really quickly. So as a joke, he got brought out, and Lou Seal pushed him around. I saw someone on the internet trying to claim that the Lou Seal joke in Arrested Development all started because that was the name of the Giants mascot, but I couldn't see that confirmed anywhere.
I don't know who would have North Cal ties and all of that, but maybe was it Ron Howard?
Mitchell Hurwitz. I don't think Ron Howard wrote anything. I think he was just the narrator. Mitchell
so
Hurwitz, right? He was
creative around it. Yeah.
So I don't know if any of that's true, but it would be funny if it was.
Was it based in North Cal?
The OC, but they don't call it that.
You're right. Okay, well that's different though. I mean, it is similar culturally, but it is locationally different.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought that was a little bit funny. Especially, I was mostly confused why of the mascots they could get their Boomer from the Pacers was there, who's like a jungle cat. I was really more confused about that than I was about a Crazy Crab
representation. Yeah. Well, good for them. Like I said, CC Sabathia, one of the greatest baseball pitchers ever, because like people can be mad about athletes looking that way, and I can just disagree. And then Ichiro is exactly what we think the athlete should look like. So I mean, he's not like big and strong, but like for his sport and his position, he's perfect.
And he's like he has such a signature. Obviously, his stance where he does the sleeve thing, and the point of the bat, and the swing under. But even the way he slaps the ball is.
If he was a rookie
that's
right
an Ichiro.
Now, he would have so many TikToks talking about his aura.
Oh my god, dude!
100%.
Unfortunately, wasted a lot of his career in Seattle, but it's happened to many men.
About baseball is pays well to do that.
Yeah, and especially in his era, luckily he wasn't doing it in an era where he had to have another job. Anyways, that'll pretty much wrap up what's going on in baseball. We could mention, and I guess we should mention, we did for the first time ever see a rookie hit 4 home runs in one game, and maybe have one of the greatest games of all time offensively. I think it was like 6 for 6 with 19 total bases. Nick Kurtz, which I didn't think about it until I first said it out loud, is not a fun one to say out loud.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of nicknames. Kurt's
it's I thought we got past this with Steve Kerr's son, and then there's obviously that I think now college football player who's got a tough name that they're leaning into, but
which also seems to be divisive because it does seem like they should actually pronounce it with a long I and not. So I don't know.
I'm not.
That one was weird, but I was glad we all moved on because that kid is going to like Eastern Michigan or some shit.
What else? Do I have anything else here? No. Probably time to talk about basketball.
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 Yeah, so most important story of the week is crime. There's been a lot of crime. But before we get to that, we're going to do some fluffy fun stuff.
Oh, I did forget one baseball note.
Okay.
A guy who we probably wanted to get for the Rangers, who's no longer available because he's going to be suspended for probably cheating through prop bets, Emmanuel Clase. And yeah, it's one of those where it's like specifically on his first pitch of the ninth being a wild pitch, and all of a sudden he's doing that more often than he ever has, and bets are going up on it. These guys aren't.
Well, we knew this was probably going to be a part of this, so this is going to be culling of that herd because we can't go back on sports gambling at this point. That genie is well out of the bottle.
Treat it like cigarettes. Don't talk about it, but just offer it.
Yeah, it was never really in the bottle. You know what I mean? There was sports gambling has always been like if you're old like us. Like, do you remember? I don't know if your dad ever did this. My dad would always be filling out the squares at the bar.
No, my dad didn't do any of that kind of stuff.
So like, there's just it's always been a cultural thing. Even I feel like his brought
but it's definitely it's definitely felt different since it's been advertised.
Oh, it's much different.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like any consumption. It's like weed, right? Like everyone used to smoke weed back in the day, but they would smoke weed in these more moderate levels. Now you can smoke weed all the time, all day, every day. Everybody's got it all the time. So it is. I know, but it's all these things we have to just think about. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, you're right.
It is a consciously you have to be like, oh, we have more access.
It's one of those things where I feel like we could easily put this on alcohol, gambling. Like you can't advertise it. And then
I think unfortunately the real answer is people have to find more like interest in like wisdom in the idea of moderation of things, Sure. And I don't know that culturally we're close to that argument just yet.
No,
maybe one day. Someone who could take us there is Nikola Jokic. He brings that work hard, play hard mentality to your work, right? Kind of.
To one of his jobs.
To be fair, he absolutely looks like he loves and breathes and worships basketball for the 48 minutes he's on a basketball court. As soon as that's over, it is a different story. And I think that's fair, and I understand it on multiple levels. It's not new to him. He's just the most unique about showing it the way he shows it. He's the most unapologetic about
I think that's the answer is, he's like, I'm not going to hide.
He maybe also just can get away with it more. I think we've had athletes that have been like this, but I think the media often sort of writes them off as arrogant, and maybe sometimes they're more defensive than they should be, and they come off as arrogant. Nikola it is
funny because we do unbothered. At least a lot in hockey is fan talk is they just want it more. It's like that's probably not really that true most of the time.
No. They just capitalize on situations and moments and stuff. Really, opportunity. But yeah, so Nikola had a big moment this offseason. His horse, I should say, got to win a pretty big race. I think I should be able to still talk through this. So There he is crying, having an emotional reaction. Look at that. I mean, this is crazy, dude. Look at him. Look how he hugs the horse. Look he's going for the horse, guys. I'm sorry to spoil it for you. No, he did go for the jockey. I'm sorry. You go for the jockey first, and then
to be fair, you couldn't see. It's not like an American horse race, or at least what we do for like a Preakness and everything, where they're on top of the horse. This looks more like small chariot. I don't know what you call it.
I love it. Look at him, bawling tears. All right, and then here's my hard cut here in just a second. Yeah, right after this. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, you can't believe it. And then this is literally the seconds after winning an NBA championship. This is him.
I mean, I think it's
going through the little
I think it's
layup
pretty
line.
simple. It's that he's just always been so dominant at basketball that he's going to care more about something that is actually a challenge to him.
No, yeah, there's plenty of that. But this was my favorite. Look, he goes to seek out Haywood Highsmith to give him a little half-ass handsman. Oh, bro, I'm telling you right now, that's a funny-ass player. And other Nikola-related news, LeBron James and his agency might be making a rival basketball league. So stay tuned.
Ooh, we're going to get unrivaled. Men's unrivaled.
We have too much to go through with the rest of this.
Can we call it the M?
On the tangent, but
Can we call it the M?
We will call it whatever.
Yeah,
it's going to be global. I don't know. Whatever. It's too early to talk about, but it does intrigue me. I will leave everyone on this nugget. It intrigues me to as if LeBron knows he's not getting the Vegas franchise already. And that I do wonder.
Or it's just leverage.
Is LeBron going Hulk Hogan heel on the NBA when he retires? I have a curiosity. But we'll keep on that story as we go. Dame is back in Portland. Good for him. Good for them.
There's nothing I want more.
He won't play. It's a funny team on 2K, though. If you get the 2K, if you overpay for the shitty 2K that's the same as inevitably, we all know it, guys. You're going to do it, but we all know
the same. It somehow gets worse.
Somehow, yeah. Sometimes it's the same visual game, but worse actual gameplay. But Dame's back in Portland. It's a funny team. Drew Holiday's on it still. Doesn't look like they're going to move him until probably middle of the season. Because I think Holiday got the extension with the Celtics, so then they probably have him on the books.
The Leave No Doubt edition, whatever.
Oh my God, dude! I saw this on PlayStation for like
$150.
Yeah, bro. Fuck you guys, man. That's some bullshit for a shitty ass. I bought the last one and I was so mad.
So what's the standard edition getting around me?
And that's not even all the extra money they're gonna want you to spend on making your character OP. You know?
Dude, it's over twice the price. It's not even just twice; it's over twice the price, and I don't understand what comes with it.
A bunch of VC, probably. But yeah, so Dame's back in Portland. We're cool with that. We're happy with that.
You get summer pass.
Yeah,
for season 7 through 9. I don't know what that is.
Again, this is all online. The park bullshit. This is people who are playing unhealthy amounts of 2K.
Oh, that is literally my least favorite part of the game. All right.
Yeah. Well, don't franchise and solo modes don't make a lot of money for this people.
For the content creators, Kofi still does it at least.
Mavs Arena. That's the next big one we need to hit. We don't really have anything concrete to report, but we do have as clear of news as I think we've had in a long time. So
was that meeting today?
I don't know if it was I don't know if it was today. I think it was yesterday or something. It was
okay.
Today. The news article did come out this morning, I believe. Yeah. So basically, Rick Welts, said that there's 2 locations in the city that they're sort of honing in on. But he also was quick to note that could still fall through.
They still own several other plots of land.
Nothing too juicy about this ultimately, other than it almost certainly feels like the American Airlines Center as we know it is going away. Does that mean the Stars just take over it dolo moving forward? I don't know. I guess will be interesting to see how they all intend to play that.
It's still a decent concert venue.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still going to be a good venue for a lot of things. It's still new enough for that stuff. I think the Stars, if they still want to use it, I don't see why they would necessarily.
Yeah, I think what would happen is if the Mavs left, the Stars would actually remodel a little bit, make it fit hockey a little bit better, and then hopefully make the acoustics a little bit better for other stuff. But it's probably not that bad compared to like Jerry World.
Maybe the Wings have special game, like special event games there or something, you know?
Yeah. So my biggest thing about this whole article that got me interested was some of the they got a realtor to work with them on this article Dallas Morning News did. And basically they tried to figure out and theorize some locations. And there was a few listed in there. If you're a Dallas local, you would know it. And I mean Dallas proper. because even if you're just DFW area, you probably don't go to a lot of these places too often. One of them, actually, funny enough, being the site of the Dallas County Jail, which I guess maybe I need to check that. I guess we're building a new jail or moving. I don't know what's going on there. But the Kay Bailey expansion project is what is mostly caught my eye here. And now I was looking on the maps. I was trying to figure out myself. I don't really know where a new arena would fit in all of this. But if you guys remember correctly, the Kay Bailey arena or the Kay Bailey expansion is to do two things of note, at least to summarize it quickly for here. It's going to bring an arena naturally already with their expo center that can fit the Dallas Wings, which is where they'll be playing. And I guess regardless of whatever the Mavs do. And it's also going to essentially be able to connect downtown Dallas with South Dallas properly, instead of having the I-30, I think, cuts through the lower part of the city and cuts off South Dallas. So this will allow more economic diversity and prosperity for both the downtown area and for South Dallas, because now both of them will be easy to commute. Basically, it just takes this whole area. If you've been to Austin, it will be not too dissimilar from how they do downtown to South Austin. You just don't have the Trinity's not very beautiful. Let's put it that way.
You won't be stuck on the highway for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. You don't have just this would be, of course, a pedestrian bridge.
I was like, don't pitch it as being like Austin downtown, because nobody wants to touch that.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't be driving this. This would be walking distance stuff. There would probably be some connectors with driving, but no different than what's already currently built into the infrastructure of the two. So anyway, there's plenty of areas over there that they probably can, maybe are vacant. Buildings, whatever, are soon to be vacated buildings, whatever it is. Maybe the ugly head of eminent domain rears itself soon. But it does. I do think the Kay Bailey Hutchison project makes it interesting, because I think that location makes a lot of sense for Dallas in its expansion as a city. And I think it also gives the Mavericks a chance to build an arena that's at the forefront before you even get in, if you're coming south to the city. So is once again back on the not on the side like it used to be, now really at the forefront of the main attraction of like the downtown skyline. It would be basically in front of the Omni, more or less.
I imagine it's just going to be shaped like a slot machine, right?
Well, that's the other question, of course, with them, is whether or not they're going to be able to make it a gaming area. I still think that the plot of land over by me now here in Irving is probably still pretty fucking interesting to them, even if it's not used for a basketball arena.
Cool.
And then, our two crime stories of the day. The crime beat. Marcus Morris got arrested in a very public way, in a very wild and abrupt way, and I feel a little bit bad for him, but maybe not. We'll see what the truth is ultimately here. But we get it reported to us as if it's what, $270,000, something like that.
It was like two separate incidents that he supposedly bounced like $100,000+ checks with casinos for credit. Cash.
So that's fair, potentially, but that begged the question. You said it. Who the fuck takes checks? Right? Why would he pay in a check? This is all very weird. His logic to this kind of feels like it paints a picture of what maybe actually happened. Could be wrong. We'll see. But it feels logical, and his explanation doesn't exactly exonerate him in totality either. So I think it makes.
Is he just saying, if this is legal, then I'm not the only one who should be in trouble? Is that what he went with?
No, actually, he claims this was a marker. Do you know what a marker is?
Yeah,
He got a line of credit from a casino, and he tried to use it at another casino. Is his alleged story.
Oh, those are entirely different reported things.
Legally, this was how he was charged with fraud, because he claims to not understand that this was illegal to do, which doesn't feel like a great excuse, because it doesn't. I don't know why you would think MGM credit would work at Bellagio, but
Well, I think the way that I read that it works, at least traditionally, is you get the marker, and then normally people would pay it back, after they win whatever they win or lose whatever they lose.
He was
But
just
if you don't pay it back, they treat it like a bar where they just run your card that they held. But in this case, they didn't. The amount of money didn't transfer out when they tried that.
Got you. Yeah. So there you go.
But I don't know. That's all alleged still, I guess. So
yeah, it'll handle itself. My favorite part of his exoneration, his side of the story that he gave us via whatever social media he chose to say all this, that he wishes they would have handled it mafia style and not like this.
So he wanted his kneecaps broken, save $200,000.
He said mafia style, bro. He said we could have handled it mafia style. I've been a regular customer for a long time.
He says
Do you know what mafia style means?
Wait, did he say that in court?
No, this is all on social media. This is not played out in court. Other than he got a hearing. He had like a bail.
Yeah.
So he wanted them to come and break his knees, like you mentioned, like you said.
He didn't want his name out there.
He wanted the fucking scene from Casino where they take him in the back and just fuck him up with a hammer and shit.
Oh.
Like, I don't know, man. It's like, I guess that's what they wanted. So yeah, that one surprised me. But yeah, this one came out of nowhere. It comes on the heels of all the chaos of Beasley.
And he's just part of such a genius family.
His family's had a lot of these incidences over a long tenure time. Even in Kansas, this was going on a little bit. And so it is funny with them, but ultimately it feels more like dumb rich guy thing than anything else. So that one's funny. But if we're talking dumb rich guys, then we need to talk about the king of dumb rich guys.
I was gonna say, I think Moore's probably made way more money than this next guy, right?
Potentially,
just because of era.
Potentially, but Gilbert was signing some of the bigger deals back then. So Gilbert Arenas is who we're going to talk about next. And to answer your question, Gilbert was a second round pick.
You're right. Arenas is like 160.
A really big contract before most people, sort of like Jalen Brunson. And then he got to sign an even bigger contract after that. And
$163 million in career earnings.
And then he's also been pretty successful in the entertainment game in his more recent years as a talking head. And his son is also like the number one prospect of his class, or something like that. Amongst other things. Also had a heart issue recently that was notable. He's still recovering from, I suppose. But yeah. Gilbert Arenas, one of my all-time favorite basketball legends, because when I was a kid, few people personified what the 2000s basketball fans went through more than Gilbert Arenas. He was hip-hop, man. He was a rebel, but in some of the most counterproductive ways. Like, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. That is factual. But he did not have the discipline and the judicious decision-making of Steph Curry. He did not constantly keep in motion like Steph Curry. He was not a teammate at all in the shape of leadership of Steph Curry, right?
No, LeBron broke him with those free throws in that playoff game.
You know, that's so funny because I do agree if you just know sports and just for what happens on a court and what happens on the field, whatever, that is a very notable point in Gilbert's career. But if you know Gilbert's whole life and sort of the story with Gilbert, it feels like such a small footnote because this is who he is. He by all accounts, seems like the worst guy in the room in almost every room he's ever been in his life. He like almost admits that. He kind of like comes out with it regularly. There's an amazing podcast I would recommend to anyone. This is when Gilbert first got started on the platform. Him and Richard Jefferson just cracking me up. And I know everyone's got Richard Jefferson fatigue now, but this one's a really good one. And here's why. Because he and RJ went to school together and they grew up in this, they ran them together. So RJ is a snitch. So this whole time we are basically just finding some of the most ridiculous dirty deed stories that Gilbert Arenas has done. And I'm not just talking about stupid shit. I'm talking about forging his teammates' autographs onto basketballs to sell them for food coupons, like for food and shit, like to go get meals and to get credits at bars and shit. This guy is hilariously creative of who he is. He's also and he talks about this a lot, and I've heard him in many times talk about this. He comes from like an upper middle class suburban California family, right? But he played in an era that was very notable for being a bunch of rags to riches stories, really, right? And it was always funny because he felt like he wanted what Ron and what Allen Iverson, what the kind of magnetism they had. He wanted that, but Gilbert could never authentically be that or do that because he was always sort of the "fuck you, mom" suburban white kid more than he ever was anything else. And it's always been the funniest part of Gilbert Arenas. And so now it leads me to him being arrested for running a illegal poker ring called the Gilbert's Poker Room or something like that. Or I don't know what he called his, but he also maybe ran this with a guy who's known to be an international mafioso of Israeli descent, I think is the way that was kind of weirdly phrased in the article, in the press release by the FBI. This is
Israeli organized crime.
Yeah, Israeli organized crime members. So yeah, I guess a Israeli mafioso of whatever level. I'm not going to pretend.
Suspected organized crime
right,
figure.
Yeah. Throw all the adjectives and all of the qualifiers.
Prosecutors used his nickname, Agent Zero, which he acquired during his time as an all-star point guard.
So yeah, and then obviously we've talked about all this, so we haven't even mentioned the famous gun incident, which is his magnum opus, still always will be. The choose one.
In January 2010, he was charged with illegal gun possession after drawing a firearm during a card game in the Washington, D.C. Wizards locker room.
You know what they need to change that byline to?
Well, they shouldn't call them the Washington, D.C. Wizards, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what they need to, because this is what never gets mentioned enough. Because I mentioned about Gilbert and his background. And again, I'm not trying to play this. I'm just describing the full context because it makes it funnier. So knowing what I just told you about Gilbert Arenas, why on earth only the dumbest, most fuck you mom suburban white kid would do something as stupid as telling someone like Javaris Crittenton, who actually grew up with affiliation in his neighborhood, to pick one in regards to the gun he was going to shoot him with. Even knowing that they were cool and thinking he would maybe think it was a joke. This is what Gilbert Arenas' decision-making was.
I mean, he would have been Ja Morant if he had Instagram Live.
Javaris did end up going to jail for his affiliations, more or less, to put it loosely. Like, Gilbert Arenas is a batshit attention whore, and it cracks me up every time. And I'm not surprised that he was behind this in any way, shape, or it's also a very, I don't know how victimless the crime is. Let's find out all the information. It's not a crime
all it takes to make it illegal is for the house to take a cut. So
yeah, I thought it was a little weird.
You could say they're preying on gamblers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's great. I'm sure there's a great reason why.
Maybe the government doesn't get their cut.
Yeah, you can argue that, but I'm not going to.
These are all guesses.
I'm not going to care too much about it, other than just laughing at the fact that, of course, this is how Gilbert Arenas blows his now, burgeoning podcasting and media career. He could have been on Amazon, NBC. There's plenty of people he could have been working with in the next media rights deal coming up, and all the changes happening. But and all the platform he already built for himself,
he could still be just fine. Also,
I would say to some extent, but now this is going to be a frustrating legal issue. I just don't know how long the legal issue plays out. But you're right; it could also make it.
Yeah, I think this one is one you can write off a little bit easier than like domestic violence, sexual assault.
That, and it's easier for the boss of your own base. I mean, I don't know who sponsors them, if it's DraftKings or whoever. I forget which sponsor pays for the Gilbert Arenas podcast.
Yeah, that they'll just be like, "Hey, Gilbert, we'll fucking make you a poker room." Like,
yeah. Well, I think they'll probably at least give him the time off to handle it legally, and then probably put the show back on, and people want to hear about it.
Yeah,
they'll probably tell everybody. He'll probably get himself in more trouble talking about this, because that's what Gilbert does.
All right. I think that'll wrap up the second quarter. We'll be back with the football hour or something.